I am not starting. I have way too many board games. Okay. Hello everyone, welcome back to Foster the Meeple, a channel all about board games and board gamey things. Back again today with another solo video. Jeff, not here, still away. Still rude. We'll carry that on through every video that he's not on. Why don't we do that? So I just did a video, the last video, about things that I wish I knew before getting into the hobby. This beautiful hobby of board gaming that we all love. But for today's video, I want to now give you, after you have all of that information, if you're new to the hobby, I want to set you up with a board game starter pack. That could be board games. I'm going to recommend some board games that you could bring into your collection to start to kind of get you off on a good foot. Also, maybe some accessories as well that might make your life a little bit easier as a board gamer. So without further ado, I say we dive in. Now, I am not recreating the wheel here. I do think that there are certain board games that are often recommended as a gateway game, an intro game, a starter game, because they are good for that, and they have done that very well. So some of the games I'm going to recommend, you're going to be like, yep, that makes total sense, but I'm also going to give you maybe a second option as well. But I have 9 kind of game categories-ish with a game and then another recommendation that I think if you're looking to start your collection, you could get these games, any combination of these games, and you would be off on a good foot. Let's start with one that I think is an excellent game for both solo play, for group play. It's another one that helps you learn some spatial thinking, some set collection, and that is going to be Cascadia. So Cascadia from Flat Out Games. I think Cascadia is an excellent game to put in your collection. Number one, most people that play it really, really love it. So it has a pretty high success rate in terms of people actually playing it and enjoying it. And people just love it. And the rule set is not so complicated that it's hard for a new gamer to wrap their mind around this. I have brought this game out numerous times with people who have been getting into the hobby. Maybe it's not that they've never played a game before. Typically, if you're looking to start a little collection, you've at this point played a game or two. But I find this one to be just a really great starter game and one that we have used as a tool. Cascadia is the first one. Beautiful nature theme, beautiful artwork, a little bit of a puzzle going on. You've got some objectives and some goals that you're trying to do. But if you want something maybe a little bit different that I also feel like fits this same kind of category of like spatial thinking, you know, filling out those objectives, it's beautiful, it's nature themed, that is going to be Harmonies. Harmonies is a bit of a newer game, but this is kind of the same thing. You are building out habitats in each of these games in order to satisfy animals. I would say that Harmonies is a little bit more abstract than Cascadia, kind of. But either way, you are going to be putting out little tokens, building out your habitats, getting the animals. This is in both of these games. And then you're also like trying to complete goals, basically. So I think either of these two games could fit the ticket. You just got to pick one that you like more, that you think is prettier. I don't know how you're going to choose. Don't make me choose, I own both of them. The next one that I would recommend if you're starting out with your collection, you are starting in the hobby, is going to be Azul. Azul is what I'm going to recommend for that abstract kind of strategy game. Number one, it's freaking beautiful. People love just to look at it. It's got a really great tactile feel with the little tiles. And it's a really great intro into drafting and strategy. And it's quick to teach, but it has enough depth to keep you coming back for more. Like Azul is still a game that I play all the time. And it is one of the games that a lot of people get into the hobby with. My other recommendation for kind of an abstract strategy game is going to be another classic in my opinion, but that's Santorini. Santorini is more chess-like, so I think that it's a relatively easy jump for people who maybe have played things like chess or checkers or other kind of abstract games like that. Santorini is like, it's only a 2-player game, that's the difference, but you're just trying to outwit your opponent by building buildings and moving your player. The rule set is very simple, very straightforward, but it has so much depth and strategy, so it's a great way to kind of get into abstract strategy. The next one on the list, I think everybody's going to be like, yeah, of course. This to me is one of like the ultimate starter games, the ultimate gateway game, and I'm not even going to give a second recommendation. I just think this is a perfect game to be part of a starter collection, and that's Ticket to Ride. Ticket to Ride is a classic entry point for a reason. People can pick it up very quickly. You can play this with your whole family, and it's super replayable. You can play this over and over and over again. If you really love it, you can start getting different variations of it. You can have literally just a Ticket to Ride collection. We have so many of them. We love Ticket to Ride, even though it is a bit more like easy and straightforward, like rule set wise. We just think it's so fun, and it touches on hand management a little bit. It touches on route planning a little bit. I just think it's a perfect starter game for your collection. Then we have another one that a lot of people, when they get into board games, this is a game that they're going to go for, but I want to give you, but also kind of thing. That's Wingspan. Wingspan is available everywhere. It's extremely popular. It's so beautiful. It is a game that often draws people into the hobby because like you might see it at a Target or wherever it might be at a game store and you're like, wow, that's really pretty. I love birds. People love birds. I love birds. I love birds. This is a good entry-ish point. I do think Wingspan is a little bit heavier than your typical entry game, but it's beautiful, it's thematic, it's an engine builder. It will teach people about tableau building and engines. But what I would rather recommend to start would actually be Finspan. I think if you're looking to get into the span line of games, Finspan is the best entry point, then Wingspan, then Wormspan. Wormspan is the most complex. I think Finspan is where you should start your collection. It's still beautiful, it's fish. Listen, not all of the fish are pretty. Some of them are quite disgusting, but that's fine. That's just what fish are like. But it simplifies Wingspan in a way that is a bit more welcoming. And I just think it's the better entry point between the two. So I would actually recommend Finspan unless you're obsessed with birds, then just get Wingspan. It's not that complicated. Then we're going to go for a card game, and I have two options here that I think are both great, and you probably already know what one of them is going to be. But first one I'm going to mention is Scout. I think Scout is, it's just so good. And it got like a boom of popularity for a reason. This is a game that you can pick up and play with pretty much anyone. You are just either playing out sets or runs, and you're trying to win, put a better set out or a better run out than the person that just played. The only confusing thing about Scout that some people get tripped up on is you pick up your cards and you cannot rearrange them. For some reason, that is a little bit complicated for people to grasp onto sometimes, but once you realize that you can't do that, you're golden. The other one, of course, is Sea Salt and Paper. I do not think you could go wrong. I think this should be in everybody's collection. Anybody can play it. It's another like set collection game with a little bit more of like an edge and competition, and there's some cute little expansions that you can get. It's beautiful art. It'll look great on your shelf, and you can travel with it. You could take it anywhere. Both of these card games to have in your collection, they have simple rule sets and maximum fun. So I don't think you can go wrong with either. But if I had to choose between the two, Sea Salt and Paper is definitely the one that I'm putting in my collection. Next up, we have the Enwrite category, if you would like to add one of those to your collection. Both of these are great if you're playing with lower player counts or higher player counts, whatever it might be. And that is going to be number one, Cartographers. I think Cartographers is an excellent, well, it's a flip and write game. It's an Enwrite game, basically. But it also allows you to get a little bit of artistic, and it's a little bit of like an adventure that you're going on. And then after you play Cartographers, you can start exploring that world a little bit more that Thunderworks offers. And I just think like it's just such a great like staple piece to have in your collection. And it's super satisfying to draw out the little map This is a game that I would recommend if you are playing by yourself, or at least with another person who is a very creative person as well. Just take as much time as you want to make your map as pretty as possible. I just think that is a part of the joy of this game. The other one is Welcome To. Welcome To was one of the games that we kind of got into when we first got into this portion of the hobby. And anybody can play it. It's super simple to learn. It's fun to play. You can play with as many people as possible. You could play this with 99 people if you want. So I just think that's great. It gives you endless replayability, possibility, and then if you love it so much later down the line, you can get Welcome to the Moon, which is a little bit more complicated. I think it's awesome. I think it's a great starter game to have in your collection. Next up, we're going to talk about co-op games. Now, I kind of went back and forth here between a couple. One that I didn't put down, but I do think is a great one to have is Horrified. If you are into spooky season stuff, you can do Horrified Universal Monsters. You could do Horrified Greek Monsters. You could do Horrified American Monsters. You could do whatever you like, okay? Horrified is a great cooperative game. I didn't put on the list, but just know I basically did because I just talked about it. So the two that I wanted to recommend, the first one, I just don't think enough people talk about this, and it is a cooperative campaign that is not only getting you into cooperative games, but also getting you into campaigns and missions, and that is The Initiative. The Initiative is a fantastic game. It is going to have you working together, solving puzzles, going on a little adventure like your kids from the 90s, and it's so much fun, and it's not overly complex, and it kind of builds as the game goes. I think it's excellent, and I think it also offers you even more replayability once it's done, which not a lot of campaign and legacy style games do. The other one is going to be Castle Panic. We've recently played Castle Panic for the first time, and I was like, I can understand why this game is a gateway game for so many people. It's cooperative, it's tower defense, it's very easy, like the rule set is very easy, but it's not as easy to win. You could play it with your whole family, you could play it with your kids, you could play it with your friends, whatever you like to do. It's kind of a great way to get into strategic planning, working together, and playing in a way that's not competitive, because some people find that competitive games are a little bit too much for them. So try a cooperative game. You could try one of those ones. I also think you should have a push your luck game in your collection. And the two that I would recommend to get started in your collection, everybody's going to know I'm going to say this, but Can't Stop. I think Can't Stop is possibly objectively, in my opinion, the best push your luck game. It's Can't Stop. It's so perfect. Once again, all of these, I'm like, anybody can play it. Anybody can play this. Like, Jeff's mom loves this game. We showed it to her, and we had to play it every night. She just wanted to play it more and more and more and more. It's also easy to set up. It's quick to play. There's like barely any rules. It's fantastic. And the other one is Push. And Push is just in a simple card box, and it's just push your luck. You're just trying not to bust, basically. The rule set's very simple, tiny little box. You could take it anywhere you go and anybody can play, and it's always a good time. Then, last but not least, I just want to throw in two party-esque games because I do think it's fun to have a party game in your collection, and there's so many good ones that I think that party games are the most welcoming, typically. So really, like, throw a dart, take your pick. But I do think that two that I think are great. First one is Just One. I think Just One is a classic party game. Everybody can play this. I think it's hilarious. I think it's hilarious how many times I've had to tell people, no, you can only write just one word down. It's in the name, guys. Come on. I think Just One is fantastic. And also Fun Facts. Fun Facts is a great one when you're getting to know other people or even people that you know well. It just generates a lot of conversation, and both of these games have extremely simple rules, like very simple. Anybody can play. You can pull them out at a party. You can pull them out even like with smaller groups as well. So I think that's why they make good additions. So those are some games that I would recommend. Like if you started off with that collection of games or a mix and match of those, I think you'd be starting off pretty darn strong. Then I want to talk about some accessories that could potentially make your life a little bit easier if you are starting out. Now, I don't think any accessories are necessary, but I do enjoy the ones that I have, and I do think that they kind of enhance the experience. So if it's something you want to get into, feel free. The first one I think is hit or miss, but depending on how big your collection is and how frequently you're playing specific games, you might want to look into card sleeves. We do not sleeve our games, with the exception of Fantasy Realms. We ended up sleeving Fantasy Realms because we were playing it so much, the cards were starting to fade. So if you have a game that you latch onto that you really love, consider sleeving it. I don't think it's necessary. We do not sleeve most of our games, but to be fair, we have like 1,300 games in our collection, and that would be bananas. I would never do that. But if it's a game like a Fantasy Realms or a Fuji Flash or something that you're taking around with you, you're traveling with it or whatever, maybe just sleeve that kind of a game. The other thing that I think I love so much, and I'm just like looking around because I have my Final Girl one here. I have, oh my God, I have 2 of these ones within arm's reach. We have dice thrown, we have whatever, dice trays is what I'm trying to say. Using a dice tray enhances my enjoyment of a game so much. And I know I'm not alone in that. I know other people love that, but I hate when dice are rolled over the board and it knocks everything over. It's a mess. This keeps everything in one spot, so long as you're not like bouncing them out. Keeps things nice and clean, and it's also fancy. And if you get these little ones, I really prefer little ones like this, then you could get everybody their own dice tray. And I love that. And sometimes when I play, I'm like, ooh, do I want to play with my train dice tray today? Do I want to use my spoons? Do I want to use my camels? If I'm playing Final Girl, I'm obviously using my Final Girl one. So dice trays, they'll just make your life better, I think. The other thing, hold please. I should have had all this ready, but I didn't. Right. The next thing is going to be component trays. You do not need to buy board game specific component trays. I actually, for a long time, I went on Amazon and I have these little black ceramic tiny dishes, which are meant for things like putting soy sauce in and dipping. They're meant for dips. I also had like a Costco, I've used a lot of dip cups, like a Costco dip trays. I had like glass bowls that I really liked. You can use whatever you like for this. They don't need to be specific for board games. But if you are looking for ones that are specific for board games, Board Game Geek does have these trays. They are just like light plastic. They come in all different varieties. So like I have ones that are 2s, I have ones that are 3 spaces, and the big ones for 4. They come in different colors, and they come with lids. So if you had enough, you could actually like put stuff in and leave them in the box. These ones here are 3D printed. My friend Ben 3D printed these for us, and they actually we have a bunch and they'll hook onto each other. So if you know somebody who has a 3D printer, you have one yourself, you could do that. This one was actually made for us by Joey, who did all of the stuff in here, and he made our first board game table, but you can buy things like this as well. It has like a component section here, and then I know I have a card somewhere. Grandma, help me out. You guys are like, what? Grandma. You put your cards like this. You can also buy these on Etsy. You can buy them from a bunch of places. Some games will come with them. This is particularly helpful if you have issues with your hands, you have bad wrists. Like our friend Sarah, she can't like hold the cards very well, so she uses one of these things for pretty much everything. I love these, they're great. So anything that kind of like helps you organize things, because most games don't come with trays that you can just like put out. And so you're usually putting all the components like just in piles on the table, which is fine. But if you don't like things to be messy, you can use little bowls. The next one is totally not necessary, but it does help. And that is play mats or a neoprene mat, like a table topper. You do not, just so you know, board game table is not on this list. Board game tables are a luxury item. They are not an essential item. You could play a board game on any table. I've played a board game on an airport seat. Doesn't matter. But if you're going to be playing like on your, hey beans, there's a doggy in here. She hates it here. You hate it here, don't you? We'll leave soon, okay? What was I saying? If you're playing on like your dining room table, your coffee table, whatever it might be, mats are going to protect your table from like bouncing dice off of it or scraping meeples or doing whatever it is that you're doing. They just help to protect, and it also just like, it makes picking up cards so easy. Because, you know, like sometimes you're trying to pick something up off a table, you can't freaking pick it up. It happens all the time. They'll just like slide right off. It's great. We had a neoprene mat, like a big table topper from Game Toppers, I think it was forever ago. And it was great. You can get them in all different designs, all different colors. Our current table has more of like a velvet insert, which I like. However, what I will say is that neoprene, if you have pets, like we do, the hair you just whoop and it comes right off. Whereas with other things, it's a little bit harder. The next thing there's two more things that I think would be really helpful. The first one is having dry erase markers around, especially if you end up getting a game like Welcome To or Cartographers. If you're able to like laminate those sheets, or actually just one or fun facts, they all use dry erase markers. Typically, dry erase markers that come in board games dry out so fast. Like there's so many games that we have that like half of the markers don't work anymore. So it's just helpful to have like, you could just get them on Amazon, like just a pack of like a few different dry erase markers. And on top of that, having some pencils handy and a notebook doesn't hurt, because not every game comes with a score book, which I think they should, but they don't. So it's helpful to have that. And then the last thing for the accessories is actually going to be on your phone. And let me just open them up. There's two particular types of apps that I think are really, really helpful. Actually, I lied to you. There's three. Hold, please. The first one is actually going to be BG Stats. I can't believe I didn't have that on the list, but BG Stats, if you want to track all of the board games that you play, who you play them with, what you own, like all of that stuff. If you care about stats, I do think that it's really helpful, because oftentimes we'll be like, somebody asked for a recommendation of a game, can't think of something off your head, you go into your BG Stats, and it just kind of tracks your journey. It's like a little digital journal. The other thing that I would recommend is an app like Chooser. There's also one called like Schwazi, I don't know. This is what I use. This is to help you choose who plays first, who's the first player. So two people might put their fingers down, if you have two people, and then that's me. This person gets to go first. And it's just fun. It's fun to use. So I think getting an app like this, and it's free. I didn't pay for this, I don't think. This one also has a lucky arrow, so you can like put it in the middle of the table and it'll pick. It has roulette, you put names in, has numbers, so it has a bunch of different, flip a coin. So it has a bunch of different ways that you can choose first player, basically, or if a tiebreaker or something comes up and it doesn't specify who wins in the rule book, which sometimes happens. And then the last app I will recommend, this is the scores of the last game I played. This is a score-keeping app. There's a ton of them. I personally love this one. Is there a way for me to like, whatever. So let's just say the yellow player got 3 points. You're just going to drag and it's going to add 3. Oh, they lost 3 points. Perfect. They'll lose 3. Red player is going to whatever. It's really fun to use. And this one is called Score Anything. So that's the one that I would recommend. So if you're looking for a couple apps, those are the ones that I personally recommend. All right, so last few parting words. If you are getting into the hobby, you're starting your collection, you're doing whatever, my first recommendation here, my first piece of advice is just start small. You can learn one game at a time. Don't overwhelm yourself. Try before you buy if you're able to. Go to a game cafe, go to a library, go to a convention, go to a friend's house. But just start small. Like I gave you a bunch of options, but you only really, if you're getting started, maybe get like 1 to 3 of them. And then if you're like, oh, now I'm ready to try something else, then get something else. Don't be afraid of rule books, but if you don't learn from reading, that's okay. Some people don't. You can also watch videos. So you should check out channels like Watch It Played, of course, Before You Play with Monique and Naveen, and John Gets Games. Those are my 3 favorite. I think John Gets Games just recently changed his channel name. I'm going to check it. I know he changed it. Well, I don't know why he changed it because that's what I knew off by heart. Getting Games, okay? Which is formerly known as John Gets Games. Those are my 3 go-to. If I want to learn a game, watch it played before you play, or John Gets Games, aka, what did I say? Getting Games? Getting Games. Definitely check them out first. Join a community. Join the Foster the Meeple Discord if you're getting into it and you're not so sure, you don't know where to start. Please join our community. We'll play games with you online all the time. Board Game Geek has a great online community. There's lots of Facebook groups and Discord groups and all of that stuff. If you're wondering, how do I store my board games? However you like. Kallax shelves just happen to be the perfect size for most board games. We ended up getting custom shelves made, but what I will mention is all of the shelving that we have in here is actually the Jasper shelves from All Play, and they are so customizable. You can like create your own format. There's smaller boxes, you can add drawers, you can add doors, you can add crosses so that you can put your playmats in it. You can have big sections for your big games. Kallax shelves are extremely limiting. They just look like this. They're affordable and they're easy to find. So if that's what works for you, that's great. If you're looking to kind of upgrade a little bit, I would definitely recommend the Jasper shelves. Like, putting them together has been so easy, and it's just wild, like the visual that we've been able to create because we've been able to like customize them basically. And the last thing I want to say that I think is maybe helpful if you're starting out is try and set a board game budget. This is a luxury hobby. Board games are very expensive. Like, I don't know how much all the stuff behind me is, but an average board game is probably around $60. So, you know, just maybe try not to spend $1 billion a month, unless that's your budget, in which case, girl, go for it. I'm not one to talk. I have purchased many a board game in my life, but it's helpful to set a budget to be like, okay, I'm going to spend $100 on board games this month, or I'll buy 1 game a month. And then by the end of the year, you'll have 12 games, a nice little collection, whatever you want to do. Okay, but those are some games that I recommend if you're getting started in the hobby, some accessories, and maybe a few little tips. If you are starting in the hobby, you should watch the video that I just posted earlier this week about things I wish I knew before getting into the hobby, because it might be helpful. Who knows? Maybe it won't be. Who knows? I don't know. All I know is that Juno wants to leave, and so now I'm going to wrap up and we're going to go home. That is everything that I have for y'all today. If you're interested in buying board games like any of the many I mentioned today, you should always first start by checking your friendly local gaming store. For us, that's the Boardroom Game Cafe. If you like what you see, please subscribe. I hope to see you again soon. Now I say goodbye. Goodbye. I am here today. All right. This one. People are so loud today.